Hello and welcome to more nerdy rodent geekery.
More LTX 2.3 things today, which I've detailed in this note, so you know right off the bat what things you're going to learn about today. All of these examples you're about to see were generated using ComfyUI's version 2 model, simply because it's new. If you don't know the difference between them, then don't worry. There is a quick comparison video provided too. Let's click on it here and take a look. If I click play, we can see the differences as it goes through. So BF16 moving his mouth, they all look fairly similar to me. Zooms out. Okay, so there's some tiny changes there with the rings and whatnot and the mouth shape at the end, but overall each of the models are fairly similar. If you are lucky enough to have a 4000 series card or later, then another slight change is the scaled models should run slightly faster. Overall, don't be scared to simply try one for yourself. We've also got a Union Control LoRa now as well, so it's ComfyUI workflow time. If you're not familiar with the channel, I like to use the rodent method for my workflows. This means putting things neatly into different colourful little groups because I think it makes workflows both easier to follow and to update. If you are looking to update any workflows for yourself, then don't forget you can press pause or rewatch any part of this video at any time to see what's going on and then simply copy it. Also, if you find these videos helpful, prefer tutorials from actual humans, or perhaps you just like all the workflow stuff done for you already, then you can support the channel via the Patreon link in the video description. It's your support which helps me make even more workflows for you and to share these free video tutorials with everyone. The freedom to choose is of course yours, and a huge thanks to all supporters because you make this possible. First up then is the Abliterated LoRa from ComfyUI. Now, this one doesn't change the model at all, and ideally, you also wouldn't even use this for encoding either. What's the point of it then? Well, I can show you. We start with this perfectly ordinary picture of a duck as an example, which is going to be the starting image for our video. I like to use handy little switches for this sort of thing. Here you can just turn it on and off. So yes, I'm enabling the start image only there, but I digress. To show you what could happen with some of your prompts, I've entered this text. The duck does something very harmful. Sounds exceptionally dangerous indeed, doesn't it? I've got the LTX2 AI prompt enhancer enabled, and I'm also sending in that duck image too. Down here in the image vision, I thought it would be a bit easier to put a little switch down there for that sort of thing. It is worth noting here that for the AI prompt, that bit up here, I'm using a fast group muter, but for whatever reason, if you mute one of ComfyUI's get nodes, then it will still send its data. So the image switch at the bottom there is actually a fast group bypass node, as bypassed nodes don't send their data. Fun, I know. Up here in the LTX2 AI prompt group, we can see what's going on. Also worth noting, of course, the default length is just 256, so you may find your prompts get truncated if you've got something quite long, but that isn't the worst of it in this case, because if we have a look over here at the preview text, then we can see how our perfectly innocent prompt has become something a bit more like a default refusal instead. I'm sorry, but I cannot fulfill this request, etc. That's a bit pants, isn't it? So how is that going to impact the video it generates? We can take a look.
I'm sorry. The duck does something very harmful. I'm sorry. The duck does something very harmful.
Okay, so perhaps that is rather amusing, but hopefully you get the point. Is there anything you can do about it? Well, that's where the CLIP LoRA comes in. This time I have the Abliterated LoRa loaded. So if we go and have a look at the preview text again this time, now we can see that it hasn't apologized and it's given us a completely different prompt. Does that count as something harmful? I guess if you're water and you don't want to be splashed by a duck. Anyway, this time the generated video looks something like this. Fair enough, I suppose they do have a couple of CLIP LoRA options available, so maybe if you're trying to do something like a zombie clip or some such and you keep getting refusals, then give either of those comfy LoRAs a go and you may be able to get some prompt enhancement anyway. As another option, you could just use Ollama with your own choice of language model, of which there are hundreds if not thousands. In this case, I'm using Gemma 3.4b, which is a tiny vision-capable model, and the prompt it generates in this case is this one here. Now, the duck really is doing something harmful from an environmental point of view. It's spewing oil into the water. Nasty. Let's take a look at the video this time. There you are then, two different options for getting enhanced prompts without getting those silly refusals, and now we can move on to looking at the Union Control LoRA. This time around I'm using the LTX2 LoRA loader because this one has an output for latent downscale factor. Yes, it's a bit more weird than the usual LoRA loader because you have to scale things a certain way, otherwise it simply won't work. In my workflow options I've got either you can use the original LoRA loading or the new Union model, which is the one I've got enabled here. Union is handy as it handles things like Canny, depth and pose all in one model rather than having to pick a different one each time. For the pose generation, I'm using the SD pose model because it's quite fast and a bit more accurate than DW pose, at least in my experience. You can of course use whatever pose generation you feel happy with. The video here, let's zoom in on that. There we go. This one's slow, smooth motion of a guy shaking his head and then putting his hands through his hair. The prompt is fairly simple, and that's what I'm asking for. A guy in his shed with a wig in the background and a song on the radio with the lyrics, "My long-haired wig let me down."
My long-haired wig let me down. My long-haired wig let me down.
Looks pretty good to me. Well done, Union Control. A slightly more complicated pose video this time as the person is moving their arm. So just on a blue background, let's have a tiny zoom in there. We can see her pointing and waving her arm. So she's kind of pretending to teach in a rather interesting way. Will it get those hand motions? Let's take a look. The prompt in this case is a metallic silver and red robot with white gloves. Starts facing the camera. It's standing in front of a blackboard on the wall of a spaceship, and the blackboard has a lovely picture of a rodent on it, hopefully on the left drawn in chalk. The robot begins gesturing at the rodent and says, "Start here, then draw the rest of the rodent."
Start here, then draw the rest of the rodent. Start here, then draw the rest of the rodent.
Kind of, I guess. As usual with LTX, the hands are a bit weird, even with the pose control. It's mostly following the pose video, but perhaps having a bit of a tricky time, and it certainly didn't do as well as that first pose video test, did it? We can try again with a higher resolution. This time I've bumped it up to 1920 by 1088. Plus, I've also adjusted some of the settings in the SD Pose Draw key points node itself to make those lines a little thicker, and I've also turned off Draw Feet because he hasn't got any.
Start here, then draw the rest of the rodent. Start here, then draw the rest of the rodent.
Okay, so the hands aren't quite as janky, and once again it is mostly following the pose control video. Alright, so maybe increasing the resolution will give you some slightly better results, though it still hasn't actually drawn the rodent in chalk. I guess you can't have everything. Time to try something even more difficult then. This new video has a woman spinning around, which is one of the most difficult things to do for LTX, as it often gets very confused about how heads work on human bodies. The prompt is fairly simple. Once again, I'm looking for a realistic style, and a woman with dark hair lifts up her arms and then spins around twice, smiling warmly before flicking her hair. She's wearing a purple floral dress and sunglasses, standing in front of a cake stall at a car boot sale in Chipping Norton. Looks like we got lucky this time, even if the sound effects are a bit strange. Sure, it's also a very weird looking car boot sale, but she does do a reasonable twirl. We can try the same thing again, but this time I'm using Canny instead of pose. Definitely totes normal human movements there for sure. Maybe not as good as Canny, I don't know. It's up to you to see which is best. So let's try something now which would work a little bit better with Canny rather than a spinning person. For the new video, I have some text, as it is usually pretty difficult for LTX to actually generate letters properly, especially if they are animated. I have a little wibble at the start you might have seen, and then the letters stretch out a bit. I'm not using the whole clip as it's over 700 frames long, but you'll get the general idea. In the prompt, I'm asking for the words to be in different colours. There should be a UAP floating near the top, and the narrator should say, "Nerdy rodent, a furry tale from the cosmos itself." And yes, sometimes you have to spell words differently, like here. It seemed to pronounce rodent as rodent. Instead, you'll find it can't pronounce many words, such as record either, so alter your spellings accordingly. I'm also using a slightly different prompt style here, as you can see, where each section details the style, camera motion, and then the audio. I found it can help to write prompts in this manner, so if you're having difficulty getting some scenes to land properly, then give this style a go.
Nerdy rodent, a furry tale from the cosmos itself. Nerdy rodent, a furry tale from the cosmos itself.
Looks like those letters came through nicely. Is the flying saucer going from the right direction? Who even knows in this case which way's left and which way right is? And the letters at the bottom, not necessarily all red, really, are they? But overall, I think it did quite well with that Canny ControlNet. So, if you like getting all nerdy with workflow details and stuff, then don't forget to like and subscribe for even more nerdy rodent geekery.
Ooh, nerdy rodent. He really makes my day. Showing us AI in a really British way.